The foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains north of Los Angeles for the California leg of American shooters' first Great American Shoot-Off. Now, if you're wondering what could be so great about a shooting exhibition, so stay tuned. What you're about to see may well be the most exciting shooting action ever televised. Our West Coast event, sponsored by Colt, is entirely new. This is a gathering of the top professionals in the action shooting sports. We have a field of 10 competitors who will shoot 8 stages in a skins game format. $1,000 is at stake for each stage. And that kind of money is very new in a sport that traditionally awards prizes to the top shooters, but not cash. The stages of fire are drawn from several shooting sports. Much of this will be run and gun, rapid fire handgun shooting, typically seen in IPSC competition. But the targets are all reactive. Knockdown plates and poppers typically found in the sport of speed steel shooting. But there's more. Our pros will also have to prove themselves with shotguns. My colleague Joe St. Lawrence has more on that.
That's right, Jim. Coming up today, 2 of our events will be shotgun stages. These pros do have experience with shotguns from both steel and IPSC shotgun competition. But they have not experience hitting high-flying claybird targets thrown from a sporting clays tower. It's a hybrid event, and it's gonna be challenging.
Joe, you're right. It will be challenging, and you'll see these pros rehearsing each course of fire. They have not been able to shoot them in advance. This first stage has a par time of 12 seconds and has 3 shooting boxes with a total of 26 targets, but it's assumed they will not get them all down.
You know, Jim, coming up is our first shooter, Rob Leatham, probably one of the true superstars in the sport. He's getting ready.
And he's the guy who's considered the old pro. At 33, he's far from the oldest on the circuit, Joe, but he's been around for years, won more championships than anybody. Shoots for the Springfield Armory, part of that Arizona wrecking team out of the Phoenix, Tucson area.
Stand by.
Let's see how he does.
That's fast, Jim. Beautiful mag change.
Clean mag change. He's in the second box. And the timer has cut him off without being able to get to the third one. But, Joe, he has shot the first 2 sets of plates clean in this. That's 19 plates, and that's the mark to hit.
That's not how I meant to do that.
Well, perhaps not. That's one of the disadvantages of being first to shoot.
Up next, Jim, Doug KOENIG, Team Colt.
Yeah, KOENIG shoots for the Colt factory team. He's one of the few guys from back east. He's from Alberta, Pennsylvania, 26 years old, shoots a 38 Super cartridge in his modified Colt with a Gilmore sight. Let's see how KOENIG does. He certainly can be figured as a winner in this. So far, he's got all the plates down.
There we go, Jim. At the buzzer, we've got 19 plates for KOENIG. He's tied with Leatham.
That first 2 guys have tied off the top. The key now will be, can anybody move to that third shooting box and get a plate down in order to win?
That's Yank Price, the event director out there, painting the targets, Jim.
Yeah, they do that between each competitor, which clearly shows the hits on a plate, but the rule is the plate or popper must fall in order to be counted in that plate total, which is the only score for this competition.
Up next is Californian Mike Setting. He's kind of a unique shooter, shoots a very different kind of a gun.
He does, Joe. He's sponsored by Joe Garcia Gun Sports, the well-known California gunsmith, and also Barstow Precision. He shoots a CZ-75, a Czechoslovakian-based high-capacity gun with a Tasco scope on it, a different choice of equipment. He's 39 years old, from Southern California, been shooting 5 years, does very well in steel shooting.
Mike's got a good run going.
And a clean mag change. He's in the second shooting box. Oh, Joe, he's left that last red target standing. That gives him a score of 18. It's a clean shoot inside the par time, but it does not match and certainly does not exceed our tie at 19 at this point.
Our next shooter for Team Springfield is Doug BOYKIN.
Yeah, Doug is actually a full-time barber who has been sponsored by Springfield as a very strong IPSC shooter for some time. He's won the previously won the Arizona State Championship, also a member of Safariland team. He had a hot 1993. Let's see how he does.
Couple misses there, Jim.
And once again, he has done the same thing Mike Setting did. He left that red plate at the back of that second stage standing for another score of 18. So our tie between Doug Koenig and Rob Leatham stands at 19. The question becomes, can anybody get to that third shooting box?
Well, maybe Dave Nakamura can. He's a fellow Californian, and he's shooting a Colt.
He's 39 years old, also sponsored by Joe Garcia Gun Sports. Dave has done well in local competitions in the past.
A little trouble there, Jim.
Actually, he was slow getting into that first shooting box, Joe. This is not going to be a strong run. Yeah, slow with the magazine change as well. And as the buzzer cuts him off, that's 13 plates. A disappointing performance initially for David Nakamura.
Well, this guy's not going to be a disappointment. He's probably one of the fastest guys on the circuit, Jojo VIDANES.
That's entirely true. Jojo is a 28-year-old Californian. He's only been shooting for about 3 years, but he's won a number of regional IPSC championships in 93, 94, and placed in the top 10 in the 94 Nationals, shooting a Caspian with a 9x21 round.
This guy's fast, Jim, and what's also interesting is he's using that new Seymour scope, the tubeless scope.
Yeah, you can see that in the side shot there. More rounds going down range than anybody else so far, and I think you'll hear a reaction from the crowd, but only a score of 18 plates. One of those was overtime.
Up next, Jack Barnes, one of the youngest pros on the circuit. Jack, he's also one of those guys out of Arizona.
Yeah, Jack is a full-time student at the University of Arizona in Tucson. He's the newest member of the Springfield Armory team. Rob Leatham, who runs that team, has clearly seen a future for him. He is also shooting a 9x25 Dillon and, of course, a Springfield-based automatic. Jack's taking his time to get those two small green plates down. This is going to be obviously a little slower run, but not bad at 15 plates down, but obviously nowhere near besting that tie we still have standing at 19 plates.
If anybody's going to break a tie, it's this guy, JETHRO DIONISIO.
DIONISIO, also known as JETHRO the Jet. He's revered or even feared among steel shooters. JETHRO is from Manila in the Philippines. He has top shooting credits both in national IPSC competition and has won the Steel Challenge 3 times, sponsored by Nolan Gunsmithing, using a Gilmore optic. All right, I see a strategy change here, Joe. He has thrown 2 rounds, but basically skipped the 2 small green plates. He's got 17 to get, and the buzzer cut him off without being able to get to that third shooting box. Net score for JETHRO the Jet, 17 plates, and our tie still stands.
That's just not good enough, Jim. Well, up next, Matt Burkett, probably one of the top young shooters.
He is at 23 years old. He's an interesting young guy. He's one of the founding partners of Ridgeline Products that makes Pro Ears hearing protectors. You see him wearing a set. He's also the only pro sponsored by non-shooting companies. KC Highlights, his primary sponsor, and now Buck Knives have signed on. As I said, he's 23. He's from Phoenix, and he's consistently finished in the top 10 in national IPSC competition. That's a gun jam, Joe, and that's going to cost him.
Yep.
Shows you the importance of reliable equipment, which is, but it can happen to anybody, no matter how well gunsmith these guns are. Yeah, a score of 15 plates, that is how costly a gun can be a sport.
Well, let's see how ARNT MYHRE does. He's an international champion.
Our 10th pro in this competition. ARNT is a previous Norwegian national champion, now handles international sales for Dillon Precision out of Phoenix. That's one of his sponsors, also a member of that Arizona Wrecking Crew, the Springfield team, shooting a 38 Super with an aim-point scope. Let's see how ARNT does.
He's got some misses here, Jim. That's going to hurt him.
Not only that, he's just not moving fast on this one. I don't think we're going to see any change in our situation. Yeah, the buzzer cuts him off at 17 plates, but 2 of those in overtime for a net score of 15.
So the $1,000 for this stage moves ahead thanks to the tie at 19 by our first 2 shooters, Doug Koenig and Rob Leatham.
All right.
On we go.
Tell me about the pressure of having money on every stage. There is no overall score here. It's just who ends up with the most money. What does this do to you guys?
Well, it changes the whole format of how you shoot, because we don't care what this score is. You know, you saw people shooting after the tie had occurred in a manner they would not normally shoot in a match, because we're not carrying the score to another stage.
Consistency doesn't matter that much on these type of events. Once a couple guys tie, you're pretty much going for it, try to suck up that cash.
Yeah, you want to be late in the squad. You want to be last, and if a tie has occurred, then that's your ticket for the E-ride, and you're going to go.
That's right.
All right. Well, we got $2 grand on the next stage.
That's right.
We'll see how you guys do.
Be nice.
All right, now it's $2,000 on the line as the Colt Pro Shootout continues with some very different challenges. Gone through stage 2. This stage had 3 primary shooting positions with color-coded targets matching each position. The rule was shoot purple from the purple box, green targets from the green box, and pink from the pink shooting box. There were a total of 26 targets, and for a time it looked like Matt Burkett would be the money winner with this run and a score of 19 plates.
Right, but then JoJo VIDANES stepped up with a new strategy. Watch as he throws 2 rounds downrange at the distant small plates to save time for the sure things, the close ones. That run totaled 20 plates down in the 14-second par time.
And, Joe, that was a score that would stand alone until Doug KOENIG stepped up with the same strategy. And with that score of 20 plates, the applause was for the money rolling over to stage 3. Joe, we're through 2 stages of fire, but so far no money has changed hands. But in a way, these guys seem pleased that they've kept it tied up.
It's amazing, Jim. We're talking about going into stage 3, $3,000 on the line. It's 3 times the pressure. Any one of these guys can win it.
All right, let's see what happens. Stage 3, in fact, requires less footwork than any of those we've seen before. 26 targets out there from 3 boxes, but only an 8-second par time. MYHRE making his best effort.
Well, ARNT's just got 15 plates, Jim. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he actually got 16 down, but that one obviously in overtime from that 3rd shooting box. Next up, JETHRO the Jet, who can be expected to be fast in this.
Well, you're right. This guy is good.
He left one standing on that 2nd box. And again, he has a net score of 15 plates.
Up next, Jim, we're going to see Matt Burkett.
Now, Matt knows that no one has so far shot the first 2 boxes clean. So he has the potential to move ahead. Boy, he's fast on that first run. And as the buzzer cuts him off, we've got a 3-way tie at 15 plates.
Okay, here comes the man, Rob Leatham. He's got to hit 16 to win this one.
And that 16th plate is going to have to be from that 3rd box.
Wow, he's cleaning it, Jim.
Hit. He got one. He got it. That's the winner. And that is the first money. Rob has drawn first blood with $3,000 for that run.
Here, why didn't I aim?
Rob, that is a major payday, buddy.
Yeah, there's nothing like $3,000 for 8 seconds worth of, I guess you can't call it work, actually.
We'll show you what it looks like, slowing it down to half speed, make it 16 seconds. But Rob's eye view of winning that $3,000 first paycheck in the Colt Pro Shootoff.
Even in slow motion, that guy is fast.
Incredible. That's what it looks like when you're making $3,000 in 8 seconds of work. Coming next, a new challenge and new money in stage 4. Right after this. Coordination, but stage 4 is going to make dancers out of these pros. There's a footwork requirement in this stage that is not going to be easy.
I knew this was rigged when I came here.
This stage is a lot different than you've seen so far. Let's do the walkthrough. Starting in this box, from the next box, you shoot the right-hand plate. Next one left, next one right.
This is not going to be an easy stage.
From the last red box, the final 3 red poppers and plates.
Okay, are you ready? Stand by.
Here's Jack Barnes for the first run.
Well, as the camera tries to follow the targets that Jack is after, you can almost get seasick watching this video, but that's how challenging this is. He's got the footwork right.
A nice run, Jim. He's got it down in 19 plates. And next, Matt Burkett from a different angle.
Now, Matt's got the footwork right through that 2nd major shooting box. Yeah, here's trouble. Here's trouble.
He's bobbled there, Jim.
And in fact, that's 18 plates, the score for Matt Burkett.
Here comes JoJo VIDANES.
Well, we saw him rehearse it. and it seems to have worked in his favor. Very fast, very strong so far. And in 16 seconds, he's into that last box.
With 20 plates, we've got a new leader.
Here's JoJo's eye view of making that run. He's swinging 90 degrees between those side targets. Talk about how fast he can pick up that target acquisition. It's incredible.
And here's the guy that's our only money winner so far.
Yeah, Rob Leatham, no question he'll be looking for 21 plates if he can get them. And again, the challenge of the footwork is right for Rob into that second major shooting box.
He's got a heck of a run going here.
And he's done it. That is 21 plates and another $1,000 in this stage for Rob Leatham.
21 plates in 16 seconds.
Hey, it's your day, Rob.
Well, at the halfway mark in the Colt Pro Shoot-Off, this is turning out to be a major payday for Rob Leatham. The question now is, can anybody beat him? The answer is seconds away as the pros line up to shoot the next challenge here in Stage 5.
The 25 targets on this stage are more clustered, but they'll only have 14 seconds to clean them.
And they will shoot them at different levels as you watch moving up as they go along.
Here's Matt Burkett.
That's very strong, and inside that 14-second par time, there are 8 targets behind that last barricade. And he has a total of 21 down. That is the leader, and that's a very strong score at this point.
Let's see if Jethro can do any better.
Yeah, the Jet has been disappointing so far in these earlier stages, but this may be a stronger one for him.
Gosh, he just doesn't miss.
In fact, you're absolutely right. He hasn't missed a target yet on an extra round. And with 8 remaining, and he's got them all. It's a clean run and the first to clean this stage. 25 targets down, some well-earned applause for Jethro the Jet, who has finally come on.
Okay, here comes JoJo. Let's see how he does.
As these guys said earlier, having seen one guy clean it, JoJo knows what he needs to do. And he's done it. He's done it. The second to shoot it clean, we now have a tie.
Up next, you're going to see Rob Leatham try to duplicate that run.
The applause indicating the money's rolling over. Rob will be shooting for position in inverse order on the next stage. We know the money is moving ahead. There is no way Rob can best a score of shooting all the plates.
Yeah, but there's some pride on the line here, Jim. He wants to do as well as those other 2 previous shooters.
And in fact, he has. He's gotten them all down out of those first 4. But here's speed loader trouble. Rob had told us that they just got these 2 days before to be able to compete in this competition, and you can tell they're having trouble with them.
Wow.
And that's a tie. He has 3 birds, 11 plates to tie it up at 14, and that moves the money ahead, making this last pros to make a payday as television's first pro shootout continues. To the tie by Doug Boykin and Rob Leatham on stage 7. This last stage is worth $2,000. But the question is, have we got a shooter who can hit clay birds and master the speed loader? It's time to find out.
Well, it looks like most of these shooters have figured out the speed loader's got to go. They've abandoned it in favor of a 12-round Benelli semi-automatic.
Yeah, being the sportsmen they are, these guys are sharing that gun to cure that speed loader from Doug KOENIG now up. There are 3 pairs of birds off the top of this stage, and Doug has taken out all 6 birds and has the time to get 5 plates down for a score of 11 to lead at this point in the 11-second par time.
That was a nice run. Let's see how Matt Burkett does. He's up next.
Now, this stage has 6 birds, as we've been saying, off the top, but there's no requirement that you have to shoot all 6 or even shoot at all 6 before you move on. And that is the emerging strategy. 3 shots, he has hit 1 bird to reserve the time for the plates. And he got them all for a total score of 11 to tie it up.
Range is clear. I'm running going. I know I can only do 11. Tie it. Tie it.
Well, this guy's not interested in a tie. Rob Leatham, our last shooter of the day, stepping into the box.
And clearly he knows what he has to do. Get 2 birds and all the plates to win. Let's watch. That's 2 birds.
He's moving, Jim.
He's done it, and it's clean with time to spare. That is the winner once again, $2,000.
A beautiful run. That is how it's supposed to be done. Let's take a look at it now from another angle. Wow.
Rob's eye view, and the dash for cash.
Beautiful.
Rob, a fantastic performance and a fantastic payday, $6,000, the high money winner trophy. Quite a deal.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Coming into this event, I really didn't expect it to go this way. Of the $8 grand available, I got to think you have 10 of the best shooters, fastest shooters in the country, shooting, hanging it out on every stage. You know, what are the chances that one person's going to be at the right place at the right time when the stage pushed a couple times? It's really exciting. This is one of the funner formats I've shot in years.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, very much so. It was put together wonderfully. You know, Yank Price of the ISA did a hell of a job putting this together, and bringing Colt in as a sponsor, it's one of the best events I've shot in my whole lifetime, and that's a lot.